Welcome back to the garage, everyone. All right, the first few minutes of this video are going to be narrated. I was charging the batteries in the RV using the 50 amp plug on the front of the shop, and I was charging my GoPro at the same time while I was taking this video. And guess what? The battery charger in the RV had a really serious feedback and it made a horrible buzz in the audio, so I just muted it out and decided to narrate. So anyway, needless to say, here we are. I'm getting ready to fire this thing up. Got all the hoses and belts done. Put a little bit of fuel in the carburetor. And I'm just looking around, trying to make sure that, I've got everything buttoned up, tightened up, torqued up, and got the belts tight there. I'm just thinking through things, and I think about time, there we go. Yep, here we go. We're going to fire. Here we go. Boom. It just fires immediately. Just wow. One thing is, I forgot to put coolant in the radiator. So I let this thing run for like about 50 seconds. I timed it after I looked at the video. And here I am I'm like, what is that noise? Look at the expression on my face. And it's the power steering pump. So I'm like, what is going on? And about this time, I grabbed the pump and I'm like, uh-oh. What's going on with that? Yep, you guessed it. All the power steering fluid leaked out while this car's been sitting up. Now, the smoke you see off the exhaust manifolds is all this spray paint and cleaning chemicals, and some oil got there I go. And I realized I don't have any coolant in the engine, and I rushed back. Zoop, I turned it off. That's about 50 seconds, somewhere in that neighborhood. But all that smoke is just oil that I dripped on the exhaust manifolds, just burning off. So there I am, looking over things, trying to make sure that I didn't damage anything, But I have to convince myself it's going to be okay. Just relax. So here I am explaining what I had just done and the fact that I now have coolant in the radiator. We're going to try to crank this thing up, but there is yet another problem that we're about to encounter, and that is the electrical system decides to die on me. There's a break in the wiring harness between the starter and the interior of the car, and so I'm going to have to deal with that as well. So I cranked it again. Let's just see what happens here. So you see I've got the water hose out now, and I've got coolant in the radiator. I'm sitting there trying to calm down, really. I was kind of freaked out by I don't like cranking engines without coolant in them. I just, have these visions of the thing melting down on me. So anyway, so I fired the engine again. Or I attempted to fire the engine again, and it clicked. It wouldn't do anything. And then I jiggled some stuff around, and boom, it fired, and it ran for a while. And I realized I didn't have any power steering fluid, or I didn't have enough in it. I went and got a small bottle. And then I went and bought this big bottle at O'Reilly. So I'm filling her up and to get that power steering pump filled up. And about this time, though, that's all she wrote, really. The electrical system gremlin just broke, and it stayed broke. And I haven't yet to be able to get the car to crank again. And I know where the issue is. I read some Cadillac forums, and the brake is in between. I'm talking to my power steering pump, telling it that it's going to have to bleed itself. I don't have time to mess with you. Just bleed yourself, okay? And we'll fix your leak later. I think I have to put some new seals in the pump is really all it needs. All right, we're back. I fixed my audio problems. The RV is charging outside, so we're going to leave the GoPro off of the charger, and audio will be fine that way. I figured out the electrical issue with the car. Simply the positive battery lead. Actually, I believe the battery lead cable on this car is original to 71. It's one of these odd looking spring-loaded deals. This doesn't have a bolt, it has anyway, I'm not going to worry about explaining it. It's just old and it needs to be replaced. It should have been done a long time ago. I was fooling around here troubleshooting, redoing the grounds, and I cleaned up everything, and came to the positive lead, and the thing was loose. So I was like, well, that's the problem. If you can move the lead on the battery with your hand, that's a problem. That should never occur, ever. It should always be very tight. For right now, I got a vice grip holding it on there. It's good enough to maintain electrical connectivity while we fire this thing up and check everything out. And let's top off our coolant. Check our power steering fluid again. We're on the cold setting there. We could probably go with another dose, because that'll probably bleed out, and just leave that loose and let the air bleed out. All right, let's give the old girl some gasoline to choke on. Pump is pumping. And we got 50 pounds of oil pressure. 50. All right, we're gonna let her get up to temp and do a little bit of tuning. All right, we did a little timing check, and I'm looking at 4 degrees below top dead center. And I have my vacuum advance removed. So this is the true base timing. And I'm gonna bump this up to about 8 degrees, something like that. The manual, the emission sticker says 8 degrees, but yeah, you know, that's based on emissions. We'll bump it up to about 10 probably, see how she does, and then we'll lock it down. All right, let's reconnect our vacuum advance. Well, all right, folks, there you have it. We're all done with our rear main seal, front crank seal, and timing set job on the old Cadillac. Along the way, we found a few problems. Found a loose power lead on the battery, but we got that solved. Well, not well with vice grips anyway, but I'm going to run down to the parts house and find myself a positive battery cable. Or better yet, I may look up on Caddy Daddy and see if I can find an original one that might look the part.
So this was not just maintenance, it was not just repairs. This was what I like to call restorative maintenance or restoration maintenance, if you will. So we do a lot of rust repair, rust removal, rust conversion, painting, quite a bit of restoration work that I do in this type of project. So what have we fixed? We have eliminated the annoying ticking sound that was coming from the front of the engine, which I should have known it was the timing set, but you just never know. It could have been a lifter, it could have been a rod, it could have been a lot of things. One odd behavior that it did have, if you rev the engine like this, and then as the engine was winding back down, revving down, that's when you would hear the noise. It would tick when it was winding down, and then it would settle down, and then you couldn't hear it anymore. And now I don't hear it at all. So the timing set was definitely noisy on this car, and it caused a little bit of rough running as well. Now, did we completely eliminate our little Lopi idle? No, we did not. I think ultimately that is going to be an exhaust valve issue, or it may be a lifter issue. Could be that we need to take the heads off this engine and do a little bit of head work. I don't know, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. For right now, the engine seems to be running quite well indeed. All right, folks, that's all for now. This is going to be part 5 and the final part of our rear main seal, front crank seal, and timing set video series. I appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified whenever I release a new video on this old Cadillac or on that Mercedes, don't forget to click that little bell down below. You guys have a good one, and remember to enjoy driving your classic Cadillac.